Hey everybody!
Hey.
So I figured out how to trick the system if I log in under either one of the network pages as not myself and I log in as that page, then I can share stuff, but as myself, I can't share anything. So if everybody who watches today wants to share, that would be awesome because I shared too much apparently, and some people reported me Wednesday night. They got mad. Maybe I shared the pages that weren't paranormal. I don't know. But apparently I got reported and I can't share now and I can't comment a lot either unless I go through certain ways of doing the commenting, like going under things as things or going under Paranormal United Network as them instead of me. So, anyways, happy Sunday, everybody. How are y'all?
Hi.
Hello. I'm sharing. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Hey, Amanda. Hey, from England. Awesome. I'm going to have somebody on from Scotland tomorrow night on the Spectral Sailor, one of my buddies. So I'm excited about that. I need to make the banner and put it up.
Who's gonna be on?
Lois, she
Louis.
did the. Remember when me and her and Jacqueline did the Robert Riggy interview? The girl that was Scottish that was on there, that is also a friend of Jacqueline's. That's who I'm going to interview tomorrow night. So we're going to be doing Spectral musicians today. Hey, thank you, Courtney. You're the share queen. I tell everybody you're the share queen. That's what I call her, the sharing queen. She's like always sharing stuff. So we're going to be talking about spirits that were musicians once that aren't with us anymore physically on this plane, but they are haunting the areas that they either were best known for at their happiest points in their life, or where they died, where they might have taken their own lives, and all of that stuff. So I picked Kurt Cobain, and I was going to try
Yay.
to. Yeah, I really actually wanted to do him because there's like actual like specific reasons. When you told me to do that, I was really glad actually because I have a cousin that's like in love and like obsessed with Kurt Cobain. That was the first cassette tape I ever bought was Nirvana, um, and it was interesting just knowing and like reading about him haunting his
Hmm.
ex-wife and ex-band members and stuff like that. And kind of still going on even after he's not really physically here. Hey, Chantel and Courtney and the Paranormal United Network Paralinks. That's Courtney. Okay, Courtney again.
And last
So,
week was his birthday. Last
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Last Sunday was his birthday, and I didn't know that. And Howard pointed it out because I didn't realize it was because my cousin usually tells me Justin. He usually says, "Hey, it's Kurt Cobain's birthday," but he doesn't have a phone right now, so he didn't tell me, and I felt kind of bad. So, in honor of his birthday, happy late birthday, Kurt Cobain. Whatever you're going through, hey, people go through crap, but your music still lives on, and your name still lives on just as much today as it did then. So, who
Yeah.
wants to go first? Anybody wants to volunteer? Do you want me to go first, or
Yeah, you can go first. I want to hear about Kurt.
okay? All right, and I'm going to ad lib a lot of this because I already kind of read about it. Um, I just wanted to look up dates or whatever real quick to make sure I'm accurate with dates of like when he actually put up music and stuff. I have them put up on my phone. Oh my gosh, I'm fixing to have to go get Lincoln out of here. So I looked up a song because I thought he had a song called Ghosts too, which he doesn't. That's Tupac. Tupac had a song called Ghosts, and it's talking about him coming back and haunting people as Machiavelli. And I almost was going to talk about him today. Hey, Dawn. But there was a song called Endless Nameless. Hang on, let me see when's the date that they actually were active, like, when they released music real quick, because I want to be accurate with the dates. I don't like not knowing or falsifying stuff. Nirvana. Not really, but Nirvana. um, so they formed in Aberdeen, Washington in 1987, Nirvana did. And lead singer was Kurt Cobain, along with Dave Grohl, which is the frontman for the Foo Fighters now. And I wanted to bring that into the story too, a little bit later on. So he lived in a house with Courtney Love and his daughter Frances Bean when he died. There was a certain area that he died. It was named 3 days after he died. It was put out, publicly that it was suicide. It has been debated over the last however many years. What year did he pass away? However many years that he passed away has been debated greatly over if it ever actually really was suicide or not, or if somebody had him killed or killed him or assisted in his death. Anyways, we won't talk about who, but so after he passed away, he haunted the room in his house heavily that he died in, and so badly that Courtney Love had someone to come and to demolish and knock down and like get rid of that part of the house. So it wasn't there anymore. And then I think that he still haunted her because she actually got up and she moved out of that house and she moved into another place in Seattle with her daughter Frances and Edward Norton, who she was dating at the time, and saw Kurt Cobain there again. And he was sitting in a chair and he said hello to her. And it was kind of like he was just asking her how she was doing and checking in on her again and saying, "Hey, I followed you." And that was all that he said from the interview that she did for Interview Magazine. There's actually a report out in an interview put out by a realtor that's trying to sell the property that can't get rid of the property because of it being haunted. I'll pull that up on here on screen share in just a minute because I want to show you what the house looked like. It's really neat. It has like an old cottagey look to it. It's kind of neat. Hey, Dawn and paranormal consultant, or Carl, I think. Is that him? Maybe I'm wrong. Paranormal consultant, hello. Anyway,
That's
so
Carl. That's Carl,
is
isn't
it
it?
him? Is it? I think it is. I think
It
every
is.
time so far it's been him.
Hell going on here?
Howard, listen.
Nothing. If you're not a ghost, you don't belong here right now.
What we
Hey,
talking about
John.
today?
Huh? We're talking about Kurt Cobain and him haunting his old
I ain't
house.
talking about hemorrhoid or flare up.
Yeah, no hemorrhoids. Flare up of ghosts. Only a flare up of ghosts.
What's the best method of getting rid of one?
Huh?
Lord.
That stuff that I
Now
used to
listen,
make,
mine
it
is
was
big.
called Boo Be Gone. Remember I told y'all about it? And the ghosty girl said, "You need to rename that because Boo Be Gone sounds like booby gone, like your boobs are going to be gone." I was like, "Yeah, I need to rename that stuff. I need to remake it and rename it, or like relabel it." Anyway, so Kurt Cobain, I'm going to show you the house that he lived in. It kind of looks like this old, out in the woods, witchy kind of like cottagey house. It's kind of bigger than like a house that you and me live in or whatnot, but it's still pretty cool. I feel like he still had a kind of like a humble house that he lived in, and part of it is knocked off. I don't know. It probably is shown now because the realtor being interviewed saying that she can't get rid of the house because no one wants to buy it because it's haunted by Kurt Cobain. So it's probably a current photo after they demolished the room and knocked off the part that he died in. I'm going to show you that now. An article from the realtor. Is that him talking in the background?
Who, Howard?
Yeah, I hear somebody talking.
Yeah.
Screen share. Oh, I need to
We need to share a tranquilizer dart to Jackie. She can just tranquilize him while she's on the show.
I think he's starting to cook. Oh, what happened to her?
I don't know.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
There she is.
I clicked on her name. Sorry. Listen, I know, right?
We were listening, and then it was just me and Jackie.
I'm pretending I'm a ghost that's haunting a house, and I go in and out as I please. I'm just going to come and go as I please.
Well played.
So I was trying to open Facebook on another tab, and so I can screen share that article from the realtor. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I'm being haunted by a 5-year-old right now that's alive.
Oh, goodness.
You're not watching YouTube.
Okay. If I have to get up, people are gonna be sorry. I can hear
Sound like
everywhere.
me, Rosie.
Just know that.
Don't make me come in there.
Don't make this Irish, Scottish, German, Cherokee person get mad. No. Oh, there's some photos that y'all sent me. Okay.
Ah,
Well, those are mine.
There
What
we
I
go. Is that no, it's this famous. This one will say Kurt Cobain on it, or it's going to say Nirvana.
you have a cat?
Yes. And it's in here with the door shut now.
Oh, okay.
I'm being haunted. I swear now. The internet ghost doesn't want me to.
Look, you can see where I shared it on my story, right on your little wall.
So, how about that Braves game? Huh? I sent it to myself. Where is myself? Myself is gone. What did I do?
Would you? What?
I really did. I sent it to myself. There I am. Okay. I know it made it sound crazy, but I mean, like I sent it in a Facebook message to myself on Facebook Messenger. And I also pulled up a funny video, though. I thought it was really funny of Kurt Cobain and another band member, I don't know his name, talking about how much people paid for concert tickets back then. Okay. Here we go. Childhood home, a place no one wanted. Kurt's house haunted. Home where, yeah, there we go. Okay. Senior committed suicide is reportedly haunted by his ghost. This might not be the right article, but does it show his house? I love that photo of him with the wings. It's not the right article. That's not it. It's the other one. That's not it either. Anyways, okay, I'll get it here in a minute, but I'm going to keep talking. I didn't know his home where he was like a little kid haunted too. That's kind of crazy. He haunts everywhere. It's like omniscient.
So are you saying
Kurt
he
Cobain
haunted
Huh?
are you saying he haunted the place where he died and his childhood home, or his childhood
Yes.
home was haunted while he was alive?
I don't know because I didn't read the article. So I'm just going to pull up the article. I don't want to be all over the place.
Together.
I know. Well, if the internet connection doesn't want to. Okay, there we go. I got it. All right. Now I got to scroll past the photos. When else? Chrissy sent me some photos. So anyhow, I'm going to skip forward a little bit and talk about Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters being in a studio last year recording their newest album, and they almost quit recording it because they were being picked on by a ghost. They were being haunted in the studio. And I think it was Kurt Cobain. There it is. Okay. Y'all are seeing all this too, aren't you? Can you see this?
Yeah, it's kind of small.
I mean, it's tiny, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna make any
We're
comments.
seeing your whole Facebook screen and the little
Yeah.
messenger square.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I make it bigger? I know I can.
You should
Okay,
be
I
able
feel
to
it.
expand it.
There. I don't know. Did that help?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh. Jesus.
Take
Jesus,
the
help me.
wheel.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, I'm just going to read it. I don't know how to make it bigger. I'm going to start singing a Madagascar song. The one that Moto sings? No. Okay. So apparently the house in which Kurt Cobain died is haunted by the spirit of the artist. Real estate agents Ewing and Clark Inc. put it up for sale, but cannot sell it because potential buyers believe it's haunted. Well, probably because Courtney went on the record and gave interviews saying it was. This is the house.
What, the house that we don't see?
Oh, you can't see it. Is it too tiny?
We don't see any of the article,
I can
Rosie.
see a house, but I don't. It's real tiny, and we don't see the
No,
article.
I see why you don't see it because of this. Never mind. Share this tab instead. Do you see it now?
No. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I did click share this tab instead of Facebook.
Got you.
Oh my God. So anyways, okay. So here's the picture of the house, and it kind of has like this weird, does it not like have like a kind of like really humble, like kind of like a movie-esque witchy cottagey vibe to it?
It
I think
does. It
I think
does.
it's
Kind
really
of like
awesome.
the northeastern homes.
Yeah, we need to go
Like
buy
in
it.
New England.
We need to all put our money together and go buy it.
Where's it
We could,
at?
I think it's in Washington. Seattle.
Oh,
It's in Seattle. We can drink coffee forever.
Okay. It rains every day in Seattle, though. I don't know that I'd like that.
I would. I like that. That's
I
where
don't
I want to
know.
go.
Well, we can come
Okay.
visit you, Jackie. Have Howard buy it for you as a wedding present.
It says
You ain't gonna do
his
that.
spirit haunted the house, and Courtney Love knew it. In an interview with the Interview magazine, Courtney said that after demolishing the area where Kurt Cobain committed suicide in '94 and moving to Seattle with her family, she received a visit from her ex-husband. When she moved to Seattle, Hancock Park with Francis and Edward Norton, who she was dating at the time, she saw him and he said hello, and then he left. He was sitting in a chair. So I don't want to read all of that, but the Seattle Police Department incident report stated that he was found with a shotgun across his body, had a visible head wound, and there was a suicide note discovered nearby. Anyways,
Hey,
so
everyone who just joined.
we're going to stop sharing. And back to reality. No. Hey, Greg. Hey, Tim. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Greg. Other Greg and John. So, anyways, yeah, we should buy that house, or someone should come in with me, and we should all buy that house together, like a big group of us. Anyway, so after that, I wanted to add that, like Dave Grohl, I was saying Dave Grohl was in the studio last year making it, or it was 2020. It was 2020 or 2021. They made their most recent album, and they had to stop making the album at one point and almost didn't finish it because they were being haunted in the music studio.
Interesting.
All right, yeah. It's Winnie's turn.
Jackie, did you want to go or do you want me to go?
Yeah, but okay, I'll go. So I'm doing Amy Winehouse. She was amazing. I sat there today while I was getting dressed because I went to a baby reveal party for my daughter, and I was listening to her music, and oh man, she sung great. I mean, I like listening to music like that, and she sung great. Um, Before her downward spiral that ended with Amy Winehouse's death, um, the world adored songs like Rehab that smash hit also hinted at her very real struggles with substance abuse. Her demons got the better of her on July 23rd, 2011. Amy Winehouse died of alcohol poisoning in her London home at the age of just 27. Other people around the globe mourned the sudden loss. Few, especially those who knew her best, were surprised. In the end, the story of how Amy Winehouse died was tragically foreshadowed by the way she lived. So yeah, she always had troubles with substance abuse, drinking, a lot of drinking. I read that, but like a lot of places where she went to go do um her concerts at, she forgot the lyrics of her songs. She couldn't even stand up. She looked tipsy. Half the people, I mean, the people in the audience were booing her. You
I don't
know,
know if she had an eating disorder, but she also
she
got
did.
really, really thin. I noticed.
She did. She did have an eating disorder, and people knew that. Even her manager wanted to release her from promoting her music
Hmm.
until she got her life back together. I mean, man, just on that one album, Back to Black, with the Rehab song on it,
Mm-hmm.
the rehab song. Um, she won 5 Grammy awards for that one album and song, and she, she was the like the only one in the U in I guess like in London, yeah, that did something like that as a woman. But she was
Mm-hmm.
also nominated for the worst dressed person too. Especially her hairdo, she got it from the 1950s, 1960s. I
Yeah, I
forgot the
love
name of
her
the
hair.
group. There was a certain group. There was 3 women. I forgot the name of it. I wrote it down,
Supremes
but
were the Ronettes or the
yeah,
Supremes.
that's it. The Ronettes.
It
That's
was,
where she got her hairstyle
I'm about
from.
that hairstyle, so that's why I was like, I think I know who it is. I'm all about that hairstyle.
Yeah, she got that from the Rockettes, and she wore a lot of like mascara and heavy eyeliner, and the clothes she wore. She was nominated for the worst dress artist
Oh wow, really?
in the Grammys, which she wasn't even allowed to go to the Grammys because she did a drug test to come to the U.S. and she failed
Mm-hmm.
it,
Oh,
and she couldn't even come to the Grammys for that one. Um, Even before she became famous, Winehouse enjoyed drinking alcohol and smoking pot. But by the time she became an international star, she had begun to dabble in hard drugs like heroin, crack cocaine. Near the end, she was often too drunk to get on stage and perform. Um, as the Academy Award winning documentary, Amy explored her own father, once famously hesitated to send her to rehab when she needed it the most. But he wasn't the only person in Winehouse circle who was blamed for her downward spiral after her demise. Her demise fingers were pointed in every direction after her demise. Perhaps most devastating of all, Winehouse death came a mere month after she canceled what was supposed to be her comeback tour in order to save her own life. But at that point, it was too late. Um, Amy Jane Winehouse was born on September 14th, 1983 in London, England, and raised in a middle-class household in Southgate area. She dreamt of being a beloved musician early in her life. Her father Mitch would often serenade her with Frank Sinatra songs, and her grandmother Cynthia was a former singer who nurtured the youngsters' bold ambitions. Winehouse's parents divorced when she was 9. Watching their marriage fall apart at such a young age left a sense um, of hurt in her heart that she would later use brilliantly in her music. I guess some of her music went back to where her parents, you know, separated. It must have hurt her. Most people who does drugs or drinking is because of what happened in their family. They get so depressed about it. They often do drugs and stuff.
They use it to kill the pain. It's a coping mechanism.
Yes.
I do
yeah.
drugs every day.
Oh my god. Um.
Listen, Howard.
Toilet bowl cleaner does not count.
Oh, she says, I want to go somewhere where I am stretched right to my limits and perhaps beyond. She wrote to sing in lessons without being told to shut up. But mostly, I have a dream to be very famous, to work on stage. It's a lifelong ambition. I want people to hear my voice and just forget about their troubles for 5 minutes. Amy took the intensive to make her dreams come true, writing songs from the age of 14, even forming a hip hop group with her friends. But she truly got her foot in the door at the age of 16 when a fellow singer passed along her demo tape to a label that was looking for a jazz vocalist. She sung good.
Yeah, she
The
did.
tape
She
will
had a very
eventually
good voice.
the tape will eventually lead her to her first record deal which she signed at the age of 19. And just a year later, in 2003, she released her debut album, Frank. To critical acclaim, Winehouse received quite a few accolades for the album in Britain, including um, a, a, a Novo Award. But around this time, she was really developing a reputation as a party girl. Sadly, the true severity of her addictions would soon merge and the skyrocket after she met a man named Blake Fielder Civil. That was her husband she lived with. With the number three album on the British chart, Amy Winehouse's dreams seemed to be coming true. But despite her success, she began to
Really?
feel anxious in front of her audience, which was growing larger and larger. She spent much time at local pubs in Camden area in London. It was there she met her future husband, Blake Fielder Civil, which half the time he was in jail, and they were like on again and off again relationship. And it seemed to be like that was a down. Oh, wait a minute. She just sounded completely different. Her personality became more distant, and it seemed to be that she was down to the drugs. When he said when I met her, she smoked weed, but she thought the people who took Class A drugs were stupid. She used to laugh at. Um, they got married in Miami, Florida. They eloped to Miami, Florida, and the pair's 2 year marriage was tremolo, tremolized, tremolized, tremulous one, including a string of public arrests for everything
Uh,
from drug possessions to assault. I hate this microphone. The couple dominated the newsstand, and it usually wasn't for positive reasons, but since Winehouse was a star, most of the attention zoomed in on her. She was only 24 years old and won six Grammy nominations, crashing headfirst into the success and despair. Um, with a codependent husband in jail and parents that had questions about her judgment, and the paparazzi documenting every emotional and physical distress. So she was in St. Lucia,
yeah.
and that was in 2011 in I want to say January. Yeah, I think it was in January. And she went on stage and she could not remember what city she was in. She couldn't
Mm.
remember the band's name, none of the band members' name.
Oh, wow.
She was like she couldn't walk or nothing like that, and her bodyguards made her stay on stage so she could finish her concert. After
Oh,
that,
good God.
yeah
That's
she canceled.
crazy.
Yeah, she after that she canceled all her concerts and um took time off to try to help herself. After that, even the person the we call it the 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 head person in London said that it was embarrassing for what she did and stuff like that. So she kind of laid low until maybe July 20th, 2011. Um, I know she has a goddaughter that was singing. It's in my papers, God damn it. And
Thank
she
you.
went on stage.
Jackie, what?
She went on stage to make
Amy Winehouse then took over her spirit is present.
I know she did. She came across me or something. I don't
How
know.
funny.
I like her. She was
Said I'm
God.
gonna go to
Um,
rehab. Ain't that her? I said no,
yes,
no, no.
No, no, no.
No.
But she did a surprise appearance on July 20th, 2011, just 3 days before she died. And
She died on July 20th.
no, July 23rd. She did a surprise appearance on
Okay.
stage with her goddaughter on July 20th, 2011. She died on January 23rd, 2011. So to go by the next one would be would be um the singer's father Mitch has claimed he's been visited by the ghost of his late daughter. He says Amy's spirit comes and sits on the end of his bed at his home in Kent. And we do have our moments, particularly on her birthday. She comes mostly on her birthday, which is September 14th. It's hard. He says it's hard. After 3 years, I was thinking maybe one day she would come back in some kind of shape or form, and she does come back, not physically but spiritually, all the time. I couldn't begin to tell you how much she is around. Um, there are strange happenings. Her spirit comes and sits at the end of the bed. She just sits there and looks just like her with her beautiful face, and she looks at me. I say to her, "Are you all right?" Because I get nervous with her being there. I wouldn't get nervous. I'd be interviewing her. Hey. Mitch also believes Amy, who Mitch also believes Amy, whose hits include "You Know I Am No Good," visits him and his wife Jane in the form of a bird that looks just like the one Amy had tattooed on her arm. She had a blackbird tattooed on her arm. He added, the week after she died, I was at my sister's house and we heard this thug, and a blackbird that looked identical to Amy's tattoo flew into the glass. And we went to pick it up and put it on the porch. It happened that night when the birds don't fly, but it came back and sat by my foot. And then we put it back again, and it came and sat in the middle of us and sung. The bird must have been, I don't know. I do now see blackbirds all the time, and you think, oh, it's only a bird, but it's her. I'm sure of it. So she comes and sits at the end of her bed, at the end of his bed, and just
Mm-hmm.
looks at him. He says it's like electricity going through his body because the spirit of her goes through his body, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like he's having like seizures or something, and then he calms down, and then he sees her sitting at the end of the bed, and she just looks at him
Sounds familiar.
like
That's
Jess
what I was gonna ask.
does,
That yeah.
like Jessica does Howard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Howard's saying right now. That sounds so familiar, but that's what I found on her. I, I really do love her songs. She was a pretty
Yeah.
lady.
She was so young when she died too.
She was somebody was in the room with her, and they were drinking and everything, and they must have fell asleep because he said when he woke up she was laying in the same position that she was when she fell asleep, and when he touched her, um she didn't have a pulse that
Oh.
morning. And the house they were in was like really quiet, and that's unusual for her because usually she's noisy. They said,
Yeah. She probably talked loud too. I can imagine her talking kind of loud
yeah.
when she
I
talked.
mean, I heard her singing, so I could hear her voice. I was like, man,
Mm-hmm.
she must have had like a loud
Well, I think she
voice.
would like. She kind of had a raspy voice because she smoked. I'm pretty sure. And us that smoke have a little bit raspier voice than that. Sometimes you got to project it a little bit more because it's kind of
Yeah.
deeper, raspy, I'd say. So, who you got, Chrissy?
I did Graham Parsons.
Oh wow.
I'm so glad you did because I didn't read all of that, but it just sounded like a bunch of like what?
Yeah. So he was a country music star. He died September 19th, 1973. But he kind of has a really sad backstory, truly, because his dad committed suicide when he was 12 years old. His mother died
Hmm.
of cirrhosis of the liver when he was 19 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So the matriarch and patriarch of his living was gone.
Yeah.
Um, his his mother did remarry. So after his dad committed suicide, his mom did remarry, but that marriage was not a good marriage, and apparently there was infidelity within the marriage, and that's why she drank so much, and basically drank herself to death.
Wow.
But so I found that he struggled with drugs and alcohol from an early age. That is actually him. And what is
She's
her
really
name?
pretty.
Oh my goodness, what is her name?
Beautiful hippie girl with pale face.
Yeah, I'm trying. She's a singer too.
Was she?
She's a singer too. Um. Oh my
She kind of
God.
has a Crystal Gale vibe to her.
She
It just
does with the long brown hair.
it just
Yeah.
left
Or
me
like
because I
Loretta
know.
Lynnish vibe or something like.
Well, so that is the other picture that you showed. That's the Joshua Tree Inn. So he would go there to get inspiration and write his music, chill with friends and of course family members, other people that were artists. They said that he would do acid and that he would drink while he was there and that he would see UFOs and spirits. Now, the key to that is this. So, even though he was doing drugs and he was drinking, there were people that were completely sober that have reported the same thing at the Joshua Tree Inn. So I would say that probably what he was seeing was not hallucinations. The article that I read said that it was hallucinations, and yes, he was on acid and drinking, but if you've got five other people with the group that's sober and they're still seeing the stuff he's seeing, I'm just going to throw it to the wind out there that yes, it does exist, and yes, he did see it. He just had an enhanced version. Let's put it that way. But so let's see. Okay, so after a house fire where he lost all of his things, he would go to visit the Joshua Tree Inn for the last time. So he had lost everything, his car, his home, all of his worldly items. So he went there to drown his sorrows, to regroup and to write a new record, right?
Yep.
So what happened was he drank 6 double tequilas, and then he allowed some strange woman that he met there at the inn inject him with morphine, which overdosed him.
Wow.
His girlfriend at the time would find him there and try to revive him with what was called an ice enema, and I'm not
Yeah.
making this up.
I think I
Um,
know what that is. There's like a lot of musicians that have overdosed and they've had a ice bath or that.
yeah, well, she did that, and then she did a cold shower.
Hmm.
And then she put him back in the bed and
Hmm.
left to go get coffee. So
Wow.
I'm assuming that she thought that he would come out of it, but he never did. He died. Um, so his friends got together and they cremated him. And then, against ordinance and law, they took the ashes and spread them around Joshua Tree Inn. So his ashes were dispersed back there where he used to go when he would write his music or needed to regroup. So the things that were reported for the haunting there, which is in room 8. Room 8 is the room that he did die in.
That was Emmylou Harris, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because I just looked it up and I was like, that's her face. That's her face. Even though this picture's old and it's a now picture of her, I could tell it was her.
Well, I mean, they were young back then. I mean,
Yeah.
he was active. When did he die? So he died in 73. So he was active as a musician from 63 to 73. So
Mm-hmm.
for 10 years. And ironically, he was in the works of making an album with her when he
Yeah.
overdosed and died.
Hey,
Her
Gina.
he
Joey.
was in room 8, she was in room 9. So every time they went to that inn together to make music and whatever, they each would have those specific rooms. So when you go there, which is this is still an active inn that you can go to, you can ask for room 8 or room 9, and you can stay in either of their rooms.
Hmm.
But yeah, so the reported action in his room was doors opening and closing. It said that when the cleaning staff goes into his room, they have to take their cell phone because it's been known that the door will lock and they can't get out
Wow.
unless
Oh my
somebody
gosh.
from the opposite side unlocks the door and lets them out. There's a big mirror there that they said that he used to stare in while creating and writing his music, and they said that that will jar and rumble, just no reason, nothing to make it vibrate, but it does. There's a dresser there that will slightly move or the drawers open. But you got to remember that this place was haunted before he even passed away. So you're not just dealing with his spirit, you're dealing with the spirits that he was already seeing before he ever even passed.
Hmm.
So, but that's what I found on him.
It reminds me of like Hotel California.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to throw a couple of others out there I had looked up because I meant to I really, really, really forgot. I wanted to do John Lennon, but I also forgot about Sid and Nancy. I'm like really, really, I love the story about Sid and Nancy, and I like have researched it. Several days I spent researching it and listening to interviews from her mother, uh, Nancy's mother, and about his mother and how he actually died. Um, so they are said to haunt Sid and Nancy. If you don't know who they are, Sid Vicious was the frontman and the singer for Sex Pistols in the 70s. It's a punk rock group from England. And Nancy was his main squeeze, I guess. They weren't married, so Nancy Spungen was her name. They didn't get married, but I mean, they might as well have. But he allegedly murdered her in room 100 of the Chelsea or the Hotel Chelsea, which is the room that is said that she haunts, and he haunts the elevator there. So he overdosed, which is what I kind of knew, sort of like a little bit about what you're talking about, because they tried the ice bath with him. He overdosed twice in a row in the same night. They got
Wow.
him out of it. Yeah, they got him out of it, and he overdosed again because his mother wasn't a good mother. Put it that way. So at the Hotel Chelsea, him and Nancy are supposed to haunt room 100 and the elevator. Also, Dylan Thomas haunts room 206. He died there in 1953. Charles R. Jackson, I think he's an author or something or a writer. He died there in 68 and he haunts there as well.
Rosie, can you check the comments?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Pirates. You're not getting our booty. I'm blocking you.
That's a different show.
That's a different show, yeah. No, wrong show. Go away. Not today, Satan. So, Jim Morrison is a spirit that haunts there's a photo that I had sent to Howard, but I can pull it up. It's a photo that a guy that was visiting his grave had someone to take his photo standing in front of. I think it was like a tomb or something that Jim Morrison was buried in, and there's a photo of Jim Morrison he's in the background right
Hmm.
behind the guy doing a pose that he used to do. I'll pull that photo up in just a second. And then I didn't get around to looking up John Lennon and researching where he haunted. I don't know where that was. I wanted to, but I wanted to throw out there that Tupac haunts several different places. And he had written a song called Ghosts where he was talking about that he would come back and haunt those who he deemed vengeance upon, basically for his death. And he would do it as Machiavelli. And I think that's where like that thought, like that rumor came from, where everyone talks about that he's not really dead, that there's been so many sightings of him. Let me see if I can find the photo of Jim Morrison. No, I was like, what's going on? At the bottom, you can see like all the photos that you've sent in the last, I don't know, several months. Or articles, whatever. You sound like someone's spray painting.
Howard's cooking.
Oh, I hope he's not spray painting the food.
He's spraying the pan.
Maybe he's spraying the pan, yeah.
Jackie's like, I don't know what he's doing.
There
Nope.
we go. Oh, look here. This is where I sent the photo more recently. Where's it at? Come on. There it is. All right. Can you see
Yes.
Yes.
the photo?
Yes.
Can you see right here
Yes.
where he's
Looks
doing
like
a
he's
pose
holding-
that?
He's holding his arms out.
Yeah, and standing kind of like this, like free bird type of like pose that he did a lot. Like even on one of his album covers, he's doing it.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
really popular photo of him where he has no shirt on and he's doing that pose.
Wow.
But yeah, this guy was at the cemetery where he was buried at, and back here you can see like a, I don't know, what's the tombs or something that have the stairs on them. And there's two headstones here, and then you can see Jim Morrison right there
Yep.
behind him doing that pose that he always did.
Is that where he's buried at, Jim Morrison?
I don't know what cemetery it is. It's from an article. I stole the photo from the article. But that's the cemetery in that photo, yeah, that he's buried at. The guy was taking a photo at the cemetery because he went there to visit Jim Morrison's grave.
That's
Yeah.
a good catch right there.
Yeah.
You see that, yeah.
I think that photo went viral. And there was another. There
So
it
the
is.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was looking up John Lennon, and it looks like the Dakota is the name of the building that he died in front of that building, and his wife said that he haunts that building, that she can feel his presence there when she's there.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, he was shot there.
Upper West Side.
What's it called?
The Dakota.
The Dakota.
Yep.
I always have
Right
to
by-
look.
It's right by.
Research.
It's always by. It's right by Central Park.
Oh, okay. Right by Central Park in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not sharing yet, but I want to pull up that article about the Foo Fighters. Did I send it to the group?
Is that the one that your boy haunts, Kirk?
Yeah.
Because
There it
one
is.
of the Foo Fighters used to be. Which one was it? The drummer?
Dave Grohl.
He was in Nirvana.
Dave Grohl used
Yeah, he
to
was
be
in
in that
Nirvana.
band. Yeah.
Here, Howard is it? He must be watching the show.
Yeah, he hears me talking about Kurt.
I love Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he loves
Looks-
Kurt Cobain.
That's my generation.
That's his generation. Man, he must be old.
He is. He's
What?
Oh, come on, go away, little
I said,
tab
man,
at the
he must
bottom.
be
I don't.
old.
Yeah,
So it says, how ghosts nearly ruined the Foo Fighters' 10th album. When we walked into the house in Encino, I knew the vibes were definitely off, said Dave Grohl. It shows a picture of Casper. I hope that's not who was there. The Foo Fighters' Dave Grohl discusses how ghosts nearly ruined the band's It says the Bads, but that's a typo. The band's 10th album. Foo Fighters reportedly faced something entirely new while making their 10th album, and it's called Ghosts. Is that not odd? Oh, wait, no, Ghosts is what ran the album. The album's not called Ghosts. It said the name up there. Sorry. So they faced Ghosts. Dave Grohl recently told Mojo that the house in Encino, California, a 40s construction where they recorded, had a sinister past. Oh, maybe it wasn't Kurt. When we walked into the house in Encino, I knew the vibes were definitely off, but the sound was effing off. We started
Wasn't that
working
last
there.
year or something?
It was last year. It was
Yep.
either last year or late 2020, but I think it was last year. We started working there, and it wasn't long before things started happening. We would come back to the studio the next day, and all the guitars would be detuned, or the setting we'd put on the board, all of them had gone back to zero. It was Kurt. It was Kurt Cobain.
It could have been. I mean,
We would open up a
part of
Pro
it.
Tools session, and tracks would be missing. Oh my gosh, I'd be so mad. There were some tracks that were put on there that we didn't even put on there, but just like weird open mic noises, nobody playing an instrument or anything like that, just an open mic recording a room, and we'd effing zero in on sounds within that, and we didn't hear any voices or anything really decipherable, but something was happening. Anything crazy? The group attempted to document the paranormal phenomena with a Nest camera to take video of the studio. When they weren't there, we started to see things on the Nest camera that we could not explain. So I can't give away what happened there in the past. I had to sign an effing non-disclosure agreement with the landlord because he's trying to sell the place. So I can't give away what happened there in the past, but these multiple occurrences over a short period of time made us finish the album as quick as we could.
And you got, yeah. I heard about that. So
Miraculously,
you
they
think it was
finished.
Kurt Cameron?
I think it was Kurt Cobain, yeah. But it also said it had a sinister past that they couldn't disclose, so some pretty bad things had to happen there. The first time I demoed it was in my... Wait, okay, it says... Miraculously finished the record and got out of there. One of the songs on the album featured a riff that Grohl has been refining for the last 25 years. The first time I demoed it was in my basement in Seattle, where Kurt died. Kurt died in Seattle. The Foo Fighters, of course, are not the first band to record under supernaturally daunting circumstances. Black Sabbath, infamously 1973 album Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, in a haunted castle. Red Hot Chili Peppers encountered ghosts at the building dubbed the Mansion while making Blood Sugar Sex Magic. N.I.N. Nine Inch Nails, which the lead singer from was from New Orleans, by the way.
Huh.
They did Downward Spiral at a home where Sharon Tate lived at the time of the
Wow.
Manson massacre, so they were right by David.
Yeah.
And Radiohead worked on OK Computer in a house Thom Yorke described as very haunted. That's cool. That'd be something else to like look into, like places that like musicians recorded that were haunted by something else and not their ghosts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember what band, I think there was a band that was at the place we're going to in Ohio, that prison. They were doing a video, and they said they had all kinds of activity there while they were doing the video.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm about to go somewhere soon. I'm not going to say any details, but it has a lot of activity. As soon as I can. I'm kind of excited to help the people that live there. Yeah. Yep.
That's good. So you have an investigation coming up.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like a thing that I'm going to be like, oh, this is live and this is what's happening. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be behind the scenes and personal. Like,
is it residential?
Yeah, I don't want to like publicize it.
We don't ever publicize residentials.
Mm-mm. Well, some people actually want you to. Like, I've had a couple of people that's the only reason I think that they actually wanted us to come there. And I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not going to say any, people's names or anything like that. But I think sometimes they were kind of these kooky people last year. And I think that the only reason they wanted us to come there is because they wanted publicity.
Sure.
Honestly.
You'll have that.
Yeah.
You'll have that. We've run
But-
into that a time or two.
And I mean, if it's mutual and like something's going on there and you want to do that and they want that, then I don't if the red tape is not there, I don't see why that's a problem. But sometimes, like I've had people I've worked with, like they like made crap happen with fishing line and stuff, so they could like get
What?
yeah, and I'm like, no, that's not. Bye. I'm not working with you anymore. So
Fake
can't
evidence
waste-
is never okay.
we already have to waste. Like it's not a waste. Okay, I take that word back. You already have to spend enough and put in enough time researching, debunking, working, not sleeping and drinking coffee instead to try to figure out what is the answer to what's going on
Right.
without having the added crap of somebody that you're working with causing stuff to happen that's not real. Like, do you know
Working-
what? Huh?
Working with you?
Yeah, not now, but they did. They don't anymore.
Wow, that's not good.
Well, not only that, like I think that they're also trying to pull in outside resources that are of a dark nature to make things happen, and I'm not okay and not down with that either. That's no
Nope.
go for me. It's like nope, no go. You can be all bad all by yourself. Sorry, because
Yeah.
if I want to be bad, I can be bad all by myself. I don't need no help. I
Yep.
choose not to. So, yeah, I guess it just that's why we don't have a big, huge team, I guess, of a lot of people. 7.
How many of yours in your team?
Well, right now, it's just me and Jason. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. We had 4 other people, but one of them passed away. So that's like not, any
And
reason.
how many
it
is in your team, Kristen?
was-
4. Now we have juniors, so we have some of our kids that do come on the investigations.
I'm gonna
But
kill everybody. Thank you for watching.
we don't. We just call them juniors.
Yeah.
We don't
Is it
hold
7?
them into everything.
Chrissy
There's
back.
another show.
3.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
watching. Sorry, we gotta go. There's another show that's coming on. Oh my gosh, did you see that?
Yeah.